A thin mist covers the Appalachian Mountains. In the distance, rows of houses stand, some no longer livable. There are no vehicle sounds, only the wind sweeping through narrow roads, revealing a reality rarely highlighted by the media. This is McDowell County, a region often referred to as the poorest place in the United States. It's not just a label, the numbers speak loudly. The average household income in this area is only around $29,980 per year, far below the national average of $80,610. The poverty rate even reaches 30.9%, more than double the national average. And when we talk about the future, hope is hard to find here. McDowell County is located in the southwestern corner of West Virginia, hidden among the vast Appalachian mountain range. From above, the view is stunning. Green valleys, misty hills, and river streams cutting through rocky terrain. But that beauty comes at a high cost: isolation. Main highways like Route 52 or US 421 twist sharply, climbing and descending along steep slopes. Access to this region is quite limited, with outdated infrastructure and landslide-prone areas. McDowell itself includes several small towns like Welch, which serves as the county seat. Then there's Kimball, once busy due to coal train lines. Keystone, an old mining town now nearly empty. And War, known as the southernmost city in all of West Virginia. Many of these towns have only one gas station, one school, and one remaining general store. Others don't even have public facilities anymore, just rows of half-empty houses. This general picture and geographic condition shape the character of its people. They grow up in communities where everyone knows each other, depend on one another, yet are cut off from the centers of national economic growth. Internet access is limited. Public transportation is almost non-existent. The nearest hospital can be more than an hour away. In many ways, McDowell feels more like a remote area in a developing country than a part of modern America. But before it became what it is today, history records that McDowell was once the heart of the national economy. In the early 20th century, the area was known as the coal capital of the nation. Coal from McDowell powered trains, factories, and even warships during World War II. Every day, thousands of tons of coal were hauled from deep underground, moving along mining rails to industrial cities up north. At the time, Welch, the county seat, was even nicknamed Little New York. The city had a large hotel, a movie theater, department stores, and even electricity before many other towns had it. Its nightlife was lively, with music clubs, bars, and bowling alleys. People came from Kentucky, Ohio, and Virginia to work and build a new life. Irish, Italian, and African American immigrants even lived side by side as fellow miners. Though tough and full of risk, mining offered jobs and hope. In the 1950s, McDowell's population reached its peak, more than 100,000 people. Schools were full, houses were built on hillsides, and there was a strong sense of pride in being part of the backbone of American industry. But like many other mining towns, that golden era wasn't built to last. The dependence on a single commodity made McDowell's economy fragile from the start. And when demand began to drop, collapse became inevitable. As a symbol of glory, coal was never a permanent resource. When energy demands shifted and the mines began closing one by one, McDowell seemed to lose its economic heartbeat. Within just 2 decades, tens of thousands of people left its towns. They searched for new lives up north, some forced to move to Ohio, Pennsylvania, even to the East Coast. Today, McDowell's population is less than 17,000, shrinking almost 85% since its heyday. Other than stories, what remains are towns with mostly empty areas, abandoned buildings, and wide lands that no longer produce anything. In one corner, there's an old gas station that's shut down. On another side, an abandoned elementary school with a fading name board. Life feels like it's been forcibly paused, and time seems reluctant to move forward. In the end, poverty in McDowell is not just a statistic. It can be seen in every corner of the town. Many houses lack access to clean water. Many residents rely on food stamps and social assistance. Job opportunities are nearly non-existent. Even for minimum wage jobs, residents have to drive an hour or more. A 2023 study showed that only 47% of households in McDowell have access to stable internet. That number is important because without digital connection, access to vital information, education, and job opportunities becomes even more limited. Children growing up here face not only material poverty, but also poverty of access. Many schools have closed due to declining student numbers. Those that remain often lack teachers and facilities. In some areas, children have to travel up to 45 minutes just to sit in a classroom. But even though it's hard, it doesn't mean life doesn't exist. Communities in McDowell still try to survive. Residents help one another regardless of background, with some places like small churches becoming centers of social activity. There are weekly markets where people exchange garden produce. There are also some volunteer communities from outside the town who come bringing aid, whether in the form of food, warm clothing, or other basic needs. One standout story is that of Sandy Blankenship, owner of Eva's house, who was once interviewed in a video. Along with her family, she lives in a simple home rebuilt from the ruins of an old house. Though living on a low income, they raise their children with love. They know this town doesn't promise much, but they also believe that a community that supports each other is a form of hope that can still grow. So then, the big question arises. Why is it so hard for areas like McDowell to recover? The answer is not simple. Besides its remote location, this region was never truly given the capital to rebuild. Economic diversification failed. There has been almost no major investment from other sectors. And worst of all, the stigma of being a failed region has only made things worse. Federal and state policies do come at times, but they often don't address the root problems. Job training programs, for example, are often not aligned with the real needs of the people. What's the use of digital marketing training if there's no stable internet? What's the use of technician training if there's no industry to hire the graduates? Even so, there are still local efforts worth appreciating. An organization called Reconnecting McDowell, for example, is trying to rebuild the education network through public-private collaboration. They built an apartment building for teachers so educators don't have to live outside the town. There are also small community programs like local farming and art or sports classes for children. The scale is still small, the impact not yet big, but at least this shows that life isn't completely gone here. McDowell County isn't the only region facing a crisis like this in America, but its story is an extreme example of how a fragile economic system can bring down a region so deeply. This isn't just about losing minds, but about what happens when a society is left behind without a new roadmap. For us, watching from the outside, it might be hard to imagine living under such conditions, but for McDowell's residents, this is their daily reality: quiet streets, cold weather, and a future that often feels uncertain. Yet amid all that, there's still a community standing. There are children still going to school. There is hope that, though small, still burns. The question is, will we just keep watching, Or will we dare to rethink the system that keeps pushing places like this further to the margins?